Hello, this is Gavin Palmer with Write and Gavin Palmer. This YouTube channel is concerned with politics and religion and technology, all integrated together. If you're mostly interested in technology, you can head over to my Hero LFG YouTube channel. And so today I'm going to talk about technology and politics, political knowledge, election systems, taxation, and so much more. In general, I'm interested in using technology in politics in order to put cameras and microphones on the people who are in government. So I know many people are scared about the government putting cameras and microphones on the citizens. I want to invert that such that when you go into government, you are opting into being recorded, having your meetings recorded and whatnot. And this should work very well at the local level. As things get larger, at the federal level, for example, I think you would have more secrets. But at the local level, I think you should have very few secrets. For example, within the government of my house with my wife and children, I really don't have secrets. Like any secret that I have, I share with my wife. Now, we do keep Santa Claus secret from our children, but I do tell them there are Santa impersonators. Anyways, so as the government gets larger, there would be reasons to have more people kept in the dark about secrets. But as the governments get smaller, there should be less secrets, and we can use technology to make sure that we have as few secrets as possible. And then that leads to political knowledge. How do you keep secrets? And when do you keep secrets? Right? Keeping secrets can be a problem. And so, and there's all kinds of problems, even with every technical solution to how you put cameras and microphones on your people in government. There's a set of problems, an infinite number of problems, and then there's a question about, well, what are the answers? And this is the area of political knowledge. And my claim would be that our science of politics, and that the quantity of knowledge within the science of politics is vastly smaller than the science of software engineering or the science of computer engineering. And that's because of the number of laboratories, right? There's way more laboratories within that sphere of computer science, and there's very little amount in comparison of laboratories in that sphere of political science. And so, in general, in order to be innovative in the realm of political knowledge and political science, we have to allow for more laboratories. And I think that we can have governments in the virtual space. We can have communities and governments online and experiment and do political science in the virtual space. So we have a lot of opportunity to learn, and we have a lot of knowledge to learn in the area of political science. And so this video is kind of an invitation to participate in that, and I'll leave a link to my Discord server if you're interested in exploring political science and participating in that exploration, using technology to do so. And connected to that, I would point at the Civil War. And what's ironic about the Civil War is that there was a war, and the deadliest war in the United States history, resulting in over 500,000 people dying in this war, to end slavery. And we are told that slavery ended, but I don't really see it that way, because we lock people in cages even though they cause no harm. We separate them from their families and lock them in cages even though they cause no harm. And there are people and industries who make money. It's called the prison industrial complex. And so that's an example of how slavery has not ended. And then also, slavery has gone underground. You have human trafficking. And so slavery has not ended. We made a certain kind of slavery illegal and had a civil war over it. But we still have slavery in the form of the prison industrial complex and in the underground slavery. And so there's a question of, well, how do you end slavery? It's a really big problem. And I'm not saying I have the answer. I have ideas about possible answers, but then I also don't have opportunities to do that political science in order to identify answers or test the hypothesis about the answers to how we would end slavery. And so that's why we need to be interested in decentralization, which is why it's ironic that we had a United States government that became empowered and more centralized in order to fight slavery, but that in itself has restricted our ability to fight slavery more generally. It's ironic. And so you have to change the way you think, and you can't believe everything you're told. So number 3, election systems. I practice trying to see things from many people's perspectives, and I used GPT-4 to try and get Steelman. Like I wanted, why are people opposed to social justice? And you can get answers. And you can say, why do people want social justice? And you can get answers. And so that's using technology in order to improve my ability to understand people's perspectives, because I think that's what representatives should try to do, because each person with different perspectives has different concerns, and their concerns are valid. Those are problems. And as someone in politics and in government, you want to try and solve those problems, right? You want to identify knowledge within political science to solve those problems, and you want to facilitate innovation within political science in order to solve those problems. And so it's good if we have representatives in government who are able to understand multiple people's perspectives. And, that means pointing at the problems with our election system. First and foremost, in my mind, is limited access to the ballot. And so if I go to the Republican Party and read their platform, I am disgusted. And when I go to the Democrat Party and read their platform, I'm disgusted. And that's because I'm someone who can see multiple perspectives. So if I'm reading the Republican Party platform, I can simultaneously see a Democratic Party platform and their perspective. And so I can't commit to one party. And I can't do it honestly. I could pretend and lie and try to join a political party, but I can't do that honestly. And then our election system does not allow for people like me to get on the ballot very easily. And so because we have these barriers related to campaign finance and money in politics, and then in general, the system itself, the system of rules within government itself. And these aren't changing. So we have problems with our election systems, like just fundamentally with ballot access and money in politics. And then we also have problems related to should we have mail-in ballots, or should we use paper ballots, right? And these are big questions. How much technology can we integrate? And what is the best way to do elections so that you can trust the election and you can actually review the results and trust that, and have a process of reviewing the results to make sure that the original counts were accurate. And so there's these, there are different ways to try to make an election system more trustworthy. That's in the realm of political knowledge and political science. Lastly, number 4, taxation. And so I think we haven't figured out how to do taxes. I personally think there is merit in something like vouchers, for example, with school vouchers, because I want to see I want to see the goods and services provided by the government provide as much good and service as possible. And I don't trust a system where everyone's tax money goes into the hands of a few people, because that increases the amount of purchasing power within the hands of a few people, and that becomes a strong attractor for people who are very selfish, whether you're trying to get into a position of power for selfish reasons, or whether you are trying to influence people who have that power. And so they say power corrupts, and I would say, to give that idea its due, is that a good person could arrive into a position of power, and then there will be people who try to influence that person and will succeed at influencing that person. And so what you can do is you can decentralize and try to distribute that purchasing power. One idea, and it probably is not the best, right? I'm sure there are better ideas that we can discover with a good system for innovating within the realm of political science. But one idea is vouchers, where we can, if we choose to do so, we can opt in to taking our purchasing power back, so that we decide, should Raytheon or Northrop Grumman, or who should be receiving the tax dollars for our defense. And you could similarly say, well, should it be that school that's 10 miles away, or that school that's 30 miles away? Or you can even say, well, that teacher that's on the other side of the planet, maybe they deserve the tax dollars because they're the best teacher in the world. And so when you relinquish control of that purchasing power, what it does is it reduces the capacity for that purchasing power to be influenced and co-opted by selfish people. And I think that's important. So these are some of just my basic ideas that I think are important, and that the overarching theme is that I would invite you to participate in discovering the knowledge within the realm of political science by clicking the link in the Discord and being willing to participate in election systems, and playing in an election system, and creating proposals and financing those proposals. And we don't have to move fast, because what happens is when we try to move fast, we will sacrifice quality, and there will be unintended consequences. So there's this trade-off between velocity and quality. This is the main takeaway in my practice as a site reliability engineer. And so I would suggest that we don't have to move fast. But you can start by clicking the link in the description below. You can read some of my blog posts. You can join the Discord server and, try to get involved. Let me know what you think. All right, have a good one, people. Thank you for your time and attention. Your attention is the most valuable resource in the world. Yeah, that's connected to the ideas of hate speech and free speech. And wouldn't it be good if the wisest people in the world received the most attention? That would be good. I think that would be good. All right, bye-bye.